But isn't that amazing or shocking that someone of Calabari extraction, like Ms. Anke Briggs, who just said now that is about some kind of mistake concerning border adjustment. She's saying that, well, that definitely will be looked into. If someone who is from that locality is saying is not making any fuss about these wells, and she's saying it is being politicized, don't you think that we should actually look deeply into this matter and listen to those people from that area who are saying that, well, this is politics about the oil?
It is politics.
And she is saying
who is playing the politics.
But she is saying that, well, people on the other side are trying to make it look as if the president does not like the Calabarians.
Well, I don't know. I don't know who the president likes or who he does not like. What I know is that the issue of Soko wells is part of the problem between the Rivers State government and the president.
Not the police this time. Not the police this time.
No, that's part of the crisis that has made Umbu important to the presidency.
Is this just, isn't this just a little exaggerated? Because when you speak with people from River State, they still tell you that this is a matter between politicians, and that the ordinary people are being dragged into this. For instance, now, you just talked about intra-party politics in Ogun State, and, this started as an intra-party
crisis, exactly.
Problem.
Exactly.
And then now you have it being blown up to a national level, wherein a budget is supposed to affect 160 million people. It's now being held in abeyance.
We should pray too that the Ogun State one should not be blown into a crisis in which it will get to a stage where we will say, okay, National Assembly filibuster. Maybe this time it will be the PDP that will say, okay, filibuster because of Ogun State. We should not. We should nip the crisis in the bud. The situation in Rivers has gone to such an extent that the police commissioner has become a lord unto himself. He is a lord unto himself. He is even more powerful than the IG in matters of Rivers State.
How do you know that?
Because the IG himself,
what is the proof that we have?
The IG himself has been completely quiet and complicit in whatever goes on. Has he ever made any strong statement about Rivers State?
Why should he?
It just collapses under because the guy in Buddha is taking directive from the presidency and not taking directive from his boss.
But how do you know that?
It's very obvious, because if you see the woman come into town, the first lady, when she comes into town, she always has audience with him. As reporters, we know that. She has audience. With the IG.
That is definitely.
I'm a reporter. I know what I'm talking about.
That reminds me. Sorry, Mark, because someone also came in here. You're the editorial chairman of the Nation's newspaper, and accused. Yes, sir. No, not accuse you, and accuse the print media of having been bought. And they say, because he said not there. He said specifically the issue in Ekiti State. That's the Labour Party National Chairman, Dan Uwanyawo. He said the issue in Ekiti State is not being reported.
What has not been reported? Everything that's happened in Ekiti State has been reported, unless he has not been reading the newspapers. I know that a lot of our political elites, they don't read newspapers. It is only when something is brought to their notice that they know that something has happened. You should go and read the newspapers, know that everything in Ekiti State has been reported.
Anke Briggs also said, look, one of the ways she recommended that this be handled is the courts. So, if you're saying that the APC is bringing or handling this matter the way it should, then you ask, wait a minute, what about institutions here?
One of the institutions is National Assembly.
What about the courts?
Well, you can use the courts if you want to.
Because with National Assembly, there will be a lot of politics. But when it comes to the courts, you know that, look, this justice in most cases, in all cases, should be seen. Justice in all cases should be seen to have been done.
Yeah, but what do you want them to do with the courts? To tell them to remove, to tell the courts to remove Umbu?
Yeah, but isn't it supposed to be about institutions playing out?
The courts cannot ask. Not read the Constitution. The Constitution cannot tell the president to fire or remove a police commissioner. But it is all within the ambit of the executive.
So all the problems in Rivers State
cannot tell.
Including the Soko matter.
What we're asking for is presidential leadership. What we're asking for is presidential leadership. Including
that of the Soko matter, it has to be the president.
Soko matter is. I mean, if it's a matter of if it's Soko, why can't the president call the governor of Bayelsa State, Seriake Dixon, call Rotimi Amechi and let them sit down and say, well, this is the way it is. Let us sit down. Let's get the boundary commission to resolve these things and let the courts decide. Let us not fight over this issue. Whatever is the ultimate decision in the Supreme Court, let us abide by it. If they are talking about courts, we're also talking about the traditional African way of resolving issues. Let us sit together and talk without bias, without malice. Without meanness.
Aren't we trying to, desperately drag the president into all of this? Because it's very possible that, most people have said he has absolutely nothing to do with this. And
if he has nothing to do with it, he should have something to drag himself
and his office into it.
If he has nothing to do with it, he should have something to do with it. He is the first, is the number one security officer in the state. Is it not? Is the number one security officer in the state. We should not forget that it was a situation like this that led to the breakdown of the first region.
What exactly?
The western region.
Just
the western region started smoldering. From smoldering, it started exploding.
What exactly?
30 months civil war.
Just a moment, sir. What will be the complaints then? What exactly are we complaining about in River State? That a police commissioner should be taken out? Is that all? Or should be removed from his position?
It's not just about the police commissioner going. It's about creating an atmosphere of harmony between the presidency and the political elite in the state. Remember that even the state legislature broke down. There was violence in the state legislature.
And that is the president's fault?
The president should go in and rein in his people. He should rein in his people. And call the other side. He should act like a father or a partisan.
Aren't they all his people?
Well, he should act it.
Well, let's look at this matter because Omarife sends a comment saying, look, the crisis in River State is between the PDP, the APC, and their supporters, and is driven by Rivers resources, personal ambition. All other issues, personality, are pawns in the deadly game of politics. She ends by saying, the president has nothing to do with that, neither his wife, and then one wonders.
The president has nothing
is this
to do
all
with
about
it. The president, the guy is right to the extent that he says there's politics.
Just between the two parties.
It can't be just between the two parties because the states and the security of the state is at stake. And when things like that happen,
security or the resources, that's what they are fighting for.
They are fighting for resources.
That's implication.
They are fighting for resources. Politics. What is politics? What is governance about? It's about resources. The question is, what are the ground norm for the pursuit of this? What are the rules? What do we mean by the rule of law? What is important is not whether this man is partisan, the other man is partisan. They are partisan. APC is partisan, PDP is partisan, ABGA is partisan, Labour is partisan. The point is that what is the law? What is propriety? What is decency? Let us do that or do those. Then anybody who gets what deserves what. But when it becomes a matter of one person or one group trying to show that it has superior power over the other, you are subordinating the higher ideals of democracy and republicanism to the logic of the gangster.
But what we were saying now, we're already beginning to see members of the National Assembly backtrack, sort of. Because now you're saying that, well, we will consider passing recurrent expenditure, but maybe it will be the first time, very much like the doctrine of necessity, that we would hold on, to the capital expenditure and leave the
exactly, which shows that it is not a zero-sum game that they are paying. It shows that what they want is that there should be propriety and there should be order. I mean, if this thing was not, if there was no
show that
imagine
they've made a mistake in this
no.
one.
It doesn't show that. But from where I'm standing,
it doesn't show that. A miscalculation on their own part.
It shows that where their emotion is. It shows that where their emotion is not in strangulating government the way the other people have argued it. What they are saying, in essence, is that we want to run the country, but let us run it in peace. Because we have seen that because of the uproar there's been a little bit
uproar
of
by
retreat.
who?
Uproar around over rivers.
By the Nigerian people.
Yes.
Against the actions or the directive of the APC.
Uproar, no, you don't know where I'm going. Just listen. What I'm saying is that because of the uproar over rivers, over what happened to Abbey, over what happened a week after, because of uproar, they simmered down over rally in rivers. So it's a way of saying that uproars have yielded. They simmer. They have not. Well, we don't know yet whether they have retreated completely.
Who are they in this case? Who are they?
The Umbo and his men.